Welcome to Dan's haunted cottage. Step inside if you dare.
Well, hello and good evening everybody out there in YouTube land. So I'm just making a video now, obviously, and I'm doing it for, well, I was asked, requested by a friend of mine who is Daryl from Campervan Tales, asked me if there was anything or if I could make a video on things that I do for protection when I go on an investigation. And I thought that's a jolly good one. I'm not sure if I've made one on that before. So even if I have, I'll redo it. I'll do this one. So when I got an investigation, generally it used to happen more often in the early days than it does now, although I still try and get it in there. We generally do, before we start the investigation, we generally do as a group an opening prayer or a prayer of protection. So we get round in a team and we ask for protection and guidance from the energies that are positive, from the energies of light and from love. And that, you know, the prayer can go on for literally a minute, it's not a very long elongated thing. And then we start. Sometimes we'll wear, I used to wear quite regularly, I haven't worn it for a while, but I'll wear a crystal of protection around my neck. So it's just one of these, it's a natural crystal that you wear close to your body, and it offers protection. I'm trying to remember what it was actually. There's a couple of different ones that I've used. I'll have to look out and try and find what they were. No, can't remember off the top of my head. I should have researched that before I started the video, shouldn't I? But I didn't. Anyway, I will let you know at the end of the video what they are. So I would do that. There's nothing in particular I would... If a Ouija board is going to be used on investigation, before you use the Ouija board, you open it. So you open it with a prayer, and then you close it with a prayer. It's very, very important that you always do a closing prayer and an opening prayer, but more importantly, the closing prayer, because that is said to cut off the connection between you and the spirit board or the Ouija board and whatever else has been utilising it to maybe make contact with you. Although, to be honest, I don't really give much credence or credibility to Ouija boards or talking boards. To me, I just think they're just nonsense. In fact, somebody said once that the only way you're ever going to get injured or hurt or affected by a Ouija board is if somebody picks it up and hits you down the head with it. At the end of the day, as they said, this person said, it's just a bit of wood with numbers and letters on it, and that's all it is, really. I know it has a significance as to what it represents, but it's really, you know, I don't give much credence, and I don't think a lot of my friends do either. We still use them because, you know, it's just a part of the arsenal that it's old school, and for me, it's more theatrics, it's more dressing up an investigation. But, you know, if people want to use them, I'm quite happy to sort of use. I think you might have seen me in one or two of my videos being a party to a Ouija board session. So yes, so always use an opening prayer and a closing prayer. It is imperative to use a closing prayer because at the end of the day, we don't know what we're dealing with, and we certainly don't want any long-lasting connections with whatever may be on the other side. So we do that. If an area is particularly bad, then what I will use is it's called smudging. And so I'll burn sage. It's a Native American thing, but I'll burn sage, and the smell of it and its purification. And you're meant to use it central and then working your way out in the corners and then out through the window. So it's kind of symbolic as much as it is anything else. It does work. I have seen situations where somebody's been suffering from some sort of negative energy, and it's done a clearance. It's you can definitely see the difference once it's been used in an area that has a negative energy there. It all depends on the strength of the energy, and it all depends on how many times you need to do it, maybe more than once. At the end of an investigation, what I always do is I thank the spirits that have been there. I thank any energies that have been there that have helped us or tried to communicate with us, that are of good and of light. And then what I do is I make sure that I then tell the spirit in no uncertain words that they're not allowed to have any connection with us, or not allowed to follow us from where they are. They have to stay there. I do also incorporate, you'll hear me say it at the end of investigations, that, you know, I thank the spirit, I thank them, and I hope that they find happiness and love, and I hope they find their loved ones, and that they find security and comfort in the afterlife, and that, you know, they have an eternal beauty surrounding them. So that's something that I always wish upon them. Never, ever, ever treat an energy or spirits with disrespect, because that way lies danger, and that way lies a lot of problems. I know some people say that they like to instigate spirit, and you know what? It's not. I'm not telling people what to do. It's entirely up to the individual how they feel about it. There is instigation, and there is instigation, though. Instigation's one thing. Provocation can be a totally different thing. Because to me, I associate the word provocation with poking a bear with a stick or a hornet's nest. And you know what happens when you do that? It never ends up well, does it? And so, you know, you've got to remember as well that these energies, these spirits, can cause you lots of problems. And apart from that, you wouldn't treat somebody who was living with disrespect. I would hope not. So why would you treat somebody who passed away with disrespect? It goes a long way. I'm sure it goes a long way to, you know, just show them courtesy, show them respect, and show them love, you know, the same way that you would like to be afforded that from other people. So that's sort of really all I do. There's not much more that I do. You know, I've seen people removing spirits with all sorts of weird, or trying to remove spirits with all weird and wonderful ideas and concoctions. And to be honest, again, it's theatrics. I would say that just being respectful, being loving, and thankful to the spirits, the energies that are on that property, is enough to sate them. It's enough to keep them happy and to protect you from them. So just always make sure on investigation. Oh, and that's another thing. We announce our presence, or I certainly always announce my presence at the beginning of an investigation. If I walk into a building or a haunted property, you know, I will always say, hi, my name is Dan. So it's an introduction. It's as you would do with somebody that was living. And, you know, I've seen lots of people that provoke spirits, and my answer to that is, would you walk into a pub and then walk up to somebody on a bar stool and start poking them and shouting at them and abusing them? You wouldn't, would you? Because you'd either get beaten up, arrested, or both. Not going to end well. So why would you do it to somebody in the afterlife? Why would you do it to somebody from the other side? You don't. And, you know, they're people, as I say, so always afford them the respect that you would wish to be afforded yourself. That's it, really. I don't think there's much more I can say about it. I hope that covers it for you, Darryl. I know lots of people have got, they've got, I don't know what you call it, really. They've got things that they recite. They've got things that they do. But that's it for me, really. I know most of my friends do a very similar thing. But that's it, really, I think. So, yeah, I hope that covers it and answers your question. So it's not that exciting, is it, really? But, yeah, that's it, really. So, okay, guys, so thanks very much, and I will speak to you all at another point. Speak to you soon.